I will say this, Jeff. Um, Even though I watched it last night on Daily Motion, that is House of the Long Shadows. This widescreen remastered version is definitely a lot less grainy than the version that is the full version, which is on Daily Motion. I'm not sure how long this was actually produced. So I'm guessing because the documentary, which I don't know really how long it is, so it's a mix. I think of probably archival interview footage, but also maybe from maybe 2013, 2014. But there is that 2012 bit, well, which I mentioned earlier on, where Julie Peasgood, the cinematographer, and Pete Walker go back to the house, which they used. Like I mentioned earlier, it was also used for the Scottish wedding scene in Four Weddings and a Funeral, where um, Simon Simon, damn it, can't remember his name, but you know him and uh, fuck's it, it's going John Hannah, that's it. Simon Callow, where the character played by Simon Callow has the fatal heart attack as Andy McDowell character marries Hamish, and you know, well, but that's was filmed at that house.
Have you tried the station master? He might be able to help you. Station master? Well, I didn't see any. I mean, the whole place looked totally deserted.
But the documentary alone, man, it is good. You know, like I said before, it includes archival photographs showing the people relaxing when not shooting. But there's one thing which seems a common thread amongst any interview or documentary which mentions the late Peter Cushing is nobody has a bad word against him. Nobody. Um, they describe him as a true gentleman. Always remembered his dead wife who died 10 years previous to making House of Long Shadows. I think they said started filming in 82. I think she died in 71 or 72 with emphysema. But Julie Peasgood mentions in the documentary that he never stopped um, talking about his late wife. And in the documentary on, I think it's Twins of Evil, I do believe, he's had a lust for a vampire. It's a lust for a vampire or Twins of Evil, which Judy Jarvis or Judy Matheson, as she now is, who also appears in Pete Walker's The Flesh and Blood show, um, mentions again. He says, "I got the job in Twins of Evil. I selected the part because I knew it meant working with Peter Cushing. Turns out it was only a short piece. It's that bit at the beginning where he gets dragged out of that hut and then burned to the stake by Gustav Weil and his band of religious zealots. And apparently one of the longest recorded screams in cinematic history. And when they're finished, short pause of silence, and then a massive round of applause. But Peter Cushing had nothing but total. He was more concerned about when they dragged her out and threw her to the ground to do it gentle so she wasn't hurt. She took great care in making sure that I was okay. But I was made aware that this is Judy Masterson speaking. Um, that is it wasn't that long ago that his wife had passed away, who was very devoted to, and I went, oh, quite be careful here, like, emotions and that. But he says, I could not have been so much more wrong. He said he approached me and he was the perfect and utmost gentleman, and he was the consummate professional. Well, like, back to the House of the Long Shadows documentary, a lot of people who remember working with John Carradine, who at the time was 80, Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, and Vincent Price, because they all crossed paths with each other. He said, I think Julie Peasgood said, there was that laugh and they were sending each other up, and there was that chemistry, the history between them, great respect for each other. And he said, you don't get that nowadays. And that's the piece that was shot in 2012. And yeah, he shows you wandering around this house. Oh yeah, I remember that bit there, and oh, this is the entrance where Vincent Price come in and we lit him up and it cast a shadow against the back wall. Definitely, I mean, like I said in my earlier video about House of Long Shadows, God knows I tried to find it, a near decent copy at a fair price. And I've been keeping my eye on it for a fair while. But, as I said earlier, the price hasn't shifted all that much. And so I thought, what the hell? As I say, it come today, and it is shrink wrapped, and I've got to say, it could have been maybe £3-4 cheaper, but it is what it is. But like I said earlier, usually documentaries usually half-assed efforts, which 5 minutes, 10 minutes, if you're lucky, half an hour. But this documentary is I think it is comprehensive compared to other documentaries or extras. But there's only kind of two extras with this. One, as I mentioned in the earlier video, is the commentary with this chap and Pete Walker, and House of Long Shadows ... revisited. So I've got quite a few Pete Walkers now. I've got at least what have I got? I've got obviously now House of the Long Shadows, the Flesh and Blood show. So at least 7 are Pete Walkers. That 5 are in the coffin shaped box set. So that's 3 at least that have the late Sheila Keith in them. Frightmare, House of Whipcord, and this. And 2 of them have got Patrick Barr in them. House of Whipcord and the Flesh and Blood show. Get it secured.